Hey guys, Tom here from the Investing with Tom YouTube channel. Welcome back to the channel. If you enjoyed today's video, hit like, hit subscribe, and that way you can see future videos as well. So this is going to be a final update on the subscriber stock picking challenge that I started back at the start of 2020. So we've had quite a few new subscribers since then. I think at that time we were at probably about 1,000 subscribers or so. So if you didn't get a chance to enter that competition back at the start of 2020, I apologize. Hope to run some sort of competition similar to this out into the future, but for now this is sort of like a final update on the results of that competition. It's a video I've been meaning to do since the end of 2020, so apologies if you've been kind of hanging out for this video. We're going to go through, just as a reminder, the competition was basically to pick one stock long and one stock short. You sort of got a hypothetical $10,000 portfolio. $5,000 went into each of those two stocks, and then we've been giving out sort of prizes throughout the year to all the people that have been leading the competition. So this is the final update. You're going to see who had the best long pick in 2020, who had the best short, and who had the best overall portfolio, and we're going to give away books and stuff to all those people. So I hope you enjoy. I learned a lot during this competition, as you'll see from the results when we get over to them. I got absolutely spanked, largely because of my short, and it's been a great lesson in why you should not short stocks. We've had a few of those this year. Tesla has hammered a lot of people. GameStop in the last few weeks has absolutely destroyed a lot of people on the short side, and it's made people a lot of money on the long side. And it's been a really good lesson kind of in that department. The other thing I've come to appreciate a lot more after this competition is simply how difficult it can be to actually track the performance of a portfolio. This competition had 40 or 50 entries, I think. Each person obviously picking two stocks, so there's about 80 to 100 stocks that I'm sort of having to keep track of every single quarter, keep track of the price movements, keep track of exchange rates, because we're reporting everything in US dollars, and there's some non-US stocks in there. And we also had some other stuff in there which made it even more difficult again, things like stock splits, and we even had at least two, I think, mergers kind of in there. So literally the stock that I started tracking at the start of the year no longer technically exists. That's sort of two companies have merged together. So there's a few things in there like that. Shameless plug, I just use Sharesight for all of that. That's why I've never really had to battle with spreadsheets too much up until this point. So you can actually use a free version of Sharesight forever if you want. There's a link down in the description below for that if you're interested. Tracks all your exchange rates. If you live in New Zealand or Australia, it'll give you really good like tax reporting at the end of the year and that sort of stuff as well. And if you want to sign up for one of the paid versions with a few extra features, particularly helpful for tax reporting again here in New Zealand, you can get 4 months free using that link. So shameless plug for that. But for now, let's jump over to the computer, show you the leaderboard, and start giving away some prizes. Okay, so we're over at the computer now, and I'm going to give away a few different prizes. So firstly, I'm going to give away a prize to whoever had the best long pick, which we'll jump into in a sec, and you can probably see on the screen already at the moment. We're also going to give away a prize for the best short. There's some interesting stuff going on there because we've actually got a bit of a tie for first place. And then we're also going to give away a book for the best overall. So that's kind of the plan. So let's jump straight into it. So here are the final results on the long side, and our previous leader from the sort of third quarter update, Matthew Kennedy, is still in the lead here. BRN.AX, and they are up 888%. That stock has been an absolute home run for Mr. Matthew Kennedy on that one. And I'll just quickly scroll through some of the results so that if you were entered in the competition, you can kind of see where you sit. Unfortunately, on the long side, I am sort of mid-pack, maybe kind of bottom third. I'm in there at 30, call it 34th equal. There's a few of us in there with GraphTech, which was my pick at the start of the year. GraphTech was basically flat, so I'm only up about 1% for the year, but is what it is. And we've got a few people in the red there, unfortunately, but those are sort of the final results on the long side. Okay, so over on the short side, this is where things get really interesting. So firstly, in terms of the leader, so all the people that picked Sky TV here in New Zealand on the short side are currently in sort of first equal for this. So apologies if I'm butchering some names here, but Varan, Landy, and Kale, you guys are all in first place. So flick me a message, send me an email, and we'll get some sort of prize out to you. So flick me an email there, but that is first place on the short side. And again, I'll kind of just scroll through. And Some really interesting stuff here. So you'll see only the top 10 people are actually in the green on the short side, which means their stock has gone down as they had hoped throughout 2020. And we've got a lot of people in the red, almost everyone. And like I talked about in the Q3 update, we had a few people, myself included here, who were dumb enough to try and short Tesla in this competition and got absolutely smoked. So I sort of just cut the losses at $5,000. So I assumed that if we put 5,000 into the short, we didn't want to get into this GameStop infinite losses kind of mode. So as soon as we'd lost $5,000, we sort of cut the losses there. And there's been a few people in that boat. So anyone that picked Tesla, of which I think was the most commonly shorted stock in this competition, we had one person pick GameStop, and that was actually before the big run up it's had recently. Even then, it had doubled. So that's sort of 100% loss on the short side. We also had, I believe that's Afterpay Touch on the ASX, Square, and GoPro, all sort of as 100% loss. Okay, and here are the overall results for the combined long and short portfolios. And we have Matthew Kennedy again in first place. So that was a massive home run on the long side. Actually down slightly on the short side, but still that long was such a home run that they were able to be up 428% for the year, which is absolutely massive and lead the competition. So Matthew, you're going to get 2 books if you reach out to me to claim your prize. Because you won the long and then the overall, and then the sort of 3 people that were first equal on the short, definitely get in touch as well. investingwithtom@gmail.com, just flick me an email there. So that is first place. Let's have a quick scroll through some of the other results. Again, you'll see I got absolutely spanked in this competition because of my short pick mainly. And I think I'm down in like 40th place or something. There I am, 43rd. So huge range of results. And I think this just goes to show that, anything can happen in a single year's performance. So those are the final results. If you happen to be one of the people that have won a prize, which is going to be a book of your choice, certainly reach out, investingwithtom@gmail.com, and I will get that to you. But for now, let's jump back to me standing up in front of the camera for a bit of an outro. Okay, there you have it. So those are the final results on the 2020 Stock Picking Challenge. If you happen to be at the top of the leaderboard, definitely reach out and claim your prize. Lots of learnings for me in that particular competition. I already knew that you should never short stocks. I mean, I follow Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger and so on religiously, and they talk about that all the time. But nonetheless, running a competition in this style was a great way to, lock that message into my brain for sure. I've never shorted a stock, and even though I picked Tesla on the short side in that competition, I've never actually done that in practice, thankfully, because it would have worked out really, really poorly. But great competition. I enjoyed running that. I'd like to run a competition again in future, like I said. I think we're probably at a point now where running that same format competition would just be too large and hectic, I think. And ideally, I'd like to run something over kind of multiple years. I think, like I said, 1 year performance can, go all sorts of different directions. But over the long term, if you're right on the business and you buy with a margin of safety and so on, like we talk about all the time, I think that is really where you can get strong kind of compounded returns over a long period of time, and you're not so exposed to sort of market forces year to year. So if you've got any ideas on how we could sort of run a competition like that and what would be relatively easy from an admin perspective for me kind of keeping track of all the entries, definitely comment down below. But that is all from me today, and I hope to see you in the next video. Cheers.